Hey, third grade, I'm going to be reviewing the unit assessment, the unit 8 and 9 assessment, okay? I'm not going to be able to go over every single question just because of time, but I am going to go over a couple questions, and then the ones that I don't go over, I'm going to give you the answer so you might be able to remember if that's the answer that you chose and if you got the answer correctly. And then you guys have a Google form to complete, and that is going to give you guys the opportunity to earn some extra points back on this unit assessment. Okay, so it's going to be in a Google form, and you're going to answer some questions, and then I'm going to use that Google form to raise your test score on the test that you just took. So it's really important that you take your time on that Google form and you're not rushing through it, okay? So let me go ahead and get started. For number 1, I'm just going to quickly walk through this one. Jackie bought a bag of candy that had 576 pieces in it for a party. She put 281 pieces of candy in a large bowl on the table. On one table, sorry. Then she put 185 pieces in another bowl on another table. Jackie left the remaining candy in the bag to use for refills during the party. How many pieces of candy were left in the bag? Well, in order to figure out how many pieces of candy were left in the bag, we had to figure out how many pieces of candy she put in the bowls first. So we know that she put 185 pieces in one bowl and 281 pieces in the other bowl. So we had to find the total amount of candy put in both bowls, and then we needed to subtract that sum from 576, and you would have got 110. Okay, so number 1 is letter A. Now I'm going to model number 2 a little bit more thoroughly, okay? On Wednesday, Mario's Meat Market sold 115 pounds of ground beef. On Thursday, they sold 150 pounds more than they sold on Wednesday. On Friday, they sold 323 pounds. How many more pounds of ground meat did they sell on Friday than on Thursday? Okay. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of stuff going on in this problem. There's a lot of numbers. There's numbers. Yeah, there's just a lot of numbers, okay? So, I know that Wednesday they sold 115 pounds. So, Wednesday is 115 pounds. Thursday is 150 pounds more than they sold on Wednesday. So how many pounds did they sell on Thursday? Do we know? No, we don't know how many pounds were sold on Thursday, but I do know that it's 150 more than was sold on Wednesday. Well, if it's 150 more than sold on Wednesday, how many were sold on Wednesday? So they sold at least 115 on Thursday plus 150 more. That would give you how much they sold on Thursday. And then Friday, they sold 323 pounds. The question is asking us, how many more pounds of ground meat did they sell on Friday than Thursday? How many more pounds of ground meat did they sell on Friday than on Thursday? Well, how many did they sell on Friday? Friday they sold 323 pounds. Thursday, they sold, how much did they sell on Thursday? They sold 115 plus 150. And then this is going to be the difference. So the first step to this problem is figuring out how many pounds of meat that they sold on Thursday. So I need to add 115 plus 150. That's 100 plus 10 plus 5, 100 plus 50 plus 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. Good job. 10 plus 50 is 60. Beautiful. And 100 plus 100 is 200. 200 plus 60 plus 5 is 265. So they sold 265 pounds on Thursday. The problem does not tell you that. The problem, we have to go figure that out. Okay? The problem does not give us that answer. We have to use what we know from the story problem to figure that part out. Okay? So this is 265 pounds on Thursday. Now I can do, this is a subtraction strip diagram. I know my total amount. I have part of it and I'm looking for the difference. Now I can subtract. I can subtract 323 minus 265. 300 plus 20 plus 3, 200 plus 60 plus 5. 3 minus 5. Good. We cannot do 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5, I need to regroup. I don't have enough ones to take 5 ones away. So this becomes a 10. This becomes a 13. Now 13 minus 5. Good job. 8. 10 minus 60. I cannot do 10 minus 60. I do not have enough 10s to subtract, so I need to regroup. This becomes a 200. This becomes a 110. I took a 100 from here and added it to the 110 or the 10 that I had. So that becomes 110 minus 60. What is 110 minus 60? Good, it's 50. And then you have 200 minus 200, which equals 0. So this is 58. There were 58 pounds, 58 more pounds of meat sold on Friday than on Thursday. Okay, I know that this was a lot. I didn't even do all of the steps of the UPS check. One, I just don't have that kind of time when I'm recording these videos, or this review would get really, 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 really long, okay? I wanted you to see the process of solving this problem. If you just subtracted 323 minus 150, the answer was there, but they did not sell 150 pounds of meat on Wednesday. Or on Thursday. They sold 150 pounds more than they sold on Wednesday, okay? So that is where we have to make that connection of 150 pounds more than Wednesday, all right? So, number 3, a tall building has 4 sides with the same number of windows on each side. If there are 39 windows on one side, how many windows are on the whole building? Well, a building has 4 sides. How many windows are on the whole building? I know that there's 39 on one side, so you would have multiplied 39 times 4, and you would have gotten 133. Okay? I'm going to, Margie paid I'm going to do number 4. Margie paid a bicycle shop $95 to rent the bicycle for 5 days. If the cost to rent the bicycle is the same every day, how much does the bicycle cost to rent for 2 days? Well, how much did Margie spend? Margie spent a total of $95 for 5 days. Okay, she has $95 each day, or sorry, $95 for the whole week. Not $95 each day, $95 for the whole week, the whole 5 days. That's how much money she spent. So how do I figure out how much money she spent on one day? How do I figure out how much money she spent on one day? I know the total amount on all of these days together is going to be $95. I want to figure out how much she spent for one day. What was the cost of one day if all 5 days together were $95? Good. I know I heard someone say it. 95 divided by 5, which equals $19. So this day cost 19, this day cost 19, this day cost 19, day 4 cost 19, and day 5 cost 19. How much does the bicycle cost to rent for 2 days? I just want to know this. That's what the question's asking you to find out. So you would do 19 times 2, which equals $38. Okay, I'm going to come back and continue doing the review.